Okay, hang on a second. Are we live? All right, we're live. All right, welcome everybody. Today we are doing a preview of what's coming up this week, our Volcano Rocket Stocks. We're going to be talking about ADN. We're going to be talking about Hoth. Actually, we're going to cover a couple of our stocks, but the focus really is on ADN. I'm also going to cover Seiata, which has got a really interesting chart right now. And then we're going to talk about the new stock. Now, I did send out a link. I sent out a link to on our WAP channel for anybody that actually wants to join on the panel, you know, if, and actually be in the video, or you can just send chats in the chat box if you want. Up to you what you want to do. No problem. Okay, so let's talk about ADN. Let's talk about ADN. What's going on? So, look, ADN. I mean, this week, I mean, stocks are really set for, I think, some big moves this week. You had this crazy, you know, we're entering a euphoria mode. We're entering, like, it could be a blowout phase in the market. You know, just so you know, you use a little caution. Like, this could be like, you know, the markets may go absolutely nuts for the next 6 weeks. It could be just like this blow off top where there's this euphoria about rate cuts, this, that, you know, the market's going to get crazy. But here's the thing. That's actually very positive. Let me pull up my book. It's very positive for our 10-bagger stocks because the speculative money is flowing into the microcap sector. So that's a positive tailwind. It's you know, something I talk about in the 10-bagger blueprint. Where is it? It's on chapter page 101. Page 101. If you want to get the video course, the link is there. And here's the thing. I talk about, there's something which, again, we got 10 factors. We got 10 kind of criteria that we look for. And one of them, which is not super important, but it's something to keep an eye on, is kind of the market cycle and the hot theme, because those things are either tailwinds, you know, giving you momentum, pushing you forward, or the headwinds, you know, which are creating resistance. So, you know, a couple of years ago, you know, when I wrote the book, we were actually in a bear market. I think I finished this in the December of 2022, literally at the, I mean, I think I always get these things right. Timing is perfect. Anyway, I finished this book at the bottom of the market cycle, and actually came out right as we were starting the new bull market in January of 2023, which is like, you know, 2+ years ago. But back then, when I was writing the book, you know, we had a lot of tailwind. We had a lot of headwinds. We had a lot of, you know, the markets were crashing. Bitcoin was crashing. There was a lot of, you know, you had Biden in office. You know, there was a lot of nonsense in the markets. And a lot of these microcaps got destroyed in 2022. 21, 22, we were like in a pretty bad bear market that was, you know, coming down from COVID. Now we're actually in the kind of the opposite situation, more or less. So, you know, the companies that have a good story and that are actually promoting, you know, meaning that they're doing the stuff that we do, which is, you know, they're actually engaging with the market. They're getting, you know, they're investing, you know, some money to get eyeballs on the stock. They can get massive right now. We could see massive results. This is when like everything gets turbocharged. Like I talk about in the book, and I got some videos about this concept. When you have like a hot theme, for example, like AI has been hot, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's relatively mature. I would say it's kind of in a mature phase now. But, you know, when you have like a hot theme, if you have a stock that's part of that hot theme, you can really get, you know, turbocharged results. So like in a neutral market, if a stock goes up, you know, a double or triple, when you're in a hot theme, you could be a 10-bagger. So instead of a 300% gain, you get 1,000% upside. So that's kind of the you know, that's the idea. So right now things are really cooking. They're ready to go crazy right now. So the stocks this is why, like, you know, we're talking about the stock that we're launching this week. I was going to do it on Tuesday, and you know, it looks like we're going to move it up to tomorrow, which is Monday morning. Why? Because the chart is really starting to break out, And we got the hot market, which I think pushed things into overdrive. So, normally last week of August is usually dead. This, I think, could be one of the hottest weeks ever in the last, I don't know how many years, but this could be one of the hottest last weeks of August, and who knows when. So, you definitely do not want to go on vacation right now. Let's see here. Okay, so if you guys, by the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. And also, I actually did have, if somebody, hang on a second, I'm not sure. I know I have somebody in the studio there, but their devices are not connected, Martin. So I think your thing is not on. I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway, look, I think I sent out a link to people on our WAP channel. So if we have anybody who wants to hop on and talk about some of these stocks, if there were any comments, they're welcome to join. I'm actually going to send out a link again. Hang on a second. Oh, Keith is one of our OGs. Here's what I'm going to do. Keith, hang on a second. Here's what I'm going to do. Keith, what I'm going to do is, you know what? Okay, I don't know if you're in our. I don't. Keith, you want to hop on the live stream? You want to hop on? Share your sort of experiences with our 10 baggers. Let me know if you do. Anyway, let me talk about the charts. Okay, so ADN again, ready to absolutely explode this week. This is one of the most beautiful chart patterns you're ever going to see in your life. And again, not to push the book again, but I do have a chapter here on technical analysis, chart patterns. What you have here is a beautiful uptrend, ready to go absolutely bananas. Why do I say that? Because here's what you had. You had the breakout, you had continuation, you had pennant triangles, breakout, continuation, pennant triangles, breakout, and it's ready to happen again. I mean, this thing wants to go absolutely bananas. Oh, Tomei. Hey, Tomei, it's like, isn't this like 1 o'clock in the morning? Tomei, hop on the, if you want to hop on the panel, you're welcome to join. I mean, there we go. Tomei is a new member of the Penny Stock Billionaire gang on our WAP channel. He's looking to get an upgrade from that. I don't know, what is that? Is that a Toyota? He's going to be getting a Lambo with this new stock that's going to be launching. All right. So anyway, so ADN is looking absolutely amazing. Look, this is the 1 hour chart I'm looking at, and here's let me see if we can. Okay, so the 4 hour chart, we had the golden cross that happened, I think, Thursday. I think that, yeah, this happened Thursday afternoon. And, this is the big thing that we're waiting for. We're saying, okay, this, I made a bunch of videos. I said, okay, oh, that's like a racing car, some sort of, that's like a specialty car, right? That's one of these, like, that's like one of those inside type of things. But yeah, so the, let me pull up the chart here. Yeah, so we had the golden cross. You see the golden cross right there on ADN, and it hasn't exploded yet. Sometimes there's a delayed reaction. It takes sometimes an hour or 2 hours. Next day, we have, I think, like a delayed reaction. I think this week, this thing can go absolutely bananas. Okay, you get a golden cross every time we've had a breakout from there. We've seen massive moves in the stock. Let me see how far I can pull it up. Okay, I can't get too much. All right. I'll show you the daily chart, though. I'll show you the daily chart. Again, what I like about ADN, one of the things I like, forget about the fundamentals. We got videos about the fundamentals, all that stuff. We're talking about the charts today. So you have the situation where you have this massive wide double bottom. I love these wide double bottoms. And then you got the breakout above this 200 moving average, that green line. Every time you break out of that number, it's super powerful. Hang on, what chart just went blank? Chart went blank. Well, yeah, I think we have to switch to like some trading view at some point. Anyway, we got right now escape velocity. So this and what's different, I think what's different than the last time, which is when we had a peak at $9. Again, last time we broke out of 200, went to $9. The difference now is there's promotional activity involved. There's a catalyst. There's an inflection point. The company actually has stuff happening. How do you know? How do you know they're at the inflection point? The news flow. Okay, the news flow. I explained in the book. look, when we launch a new stock, one of our next super stocks, right? We have these next super stocks, and people have been around, like Keith. Keith has been around, I think, on our channel since like 4 years, right? And we've had a bunch of stocks that became 10 baggers. A bunch of stocks were only up 300 or 500%. But here's the thing: I think Keith will tell you what separates the ones that move, that actually get traction and become the 10 baggers, is really the news flow. You got to have real news flow. Why is the news flow important? Because the news flow is the pulse of the market, right? It tells you, the health of the stock. If a company is not putting out news in a month, they have had no news releases in a month or whatever, it's dead. I mean, like, yes, sometimes there's excuses, and I can make some excuses for some stocks that, have been slow with news or whatever. But here's the reality, right? As far as the market is concerned, the news, if a company's putting out news once a week, like legitimate news, like, okay, hey, it's actually material and it's real, it's not a bunch of nonsense, like, for example, I'll use an example of a previous stock we worked with, which was Lottery. Yeah, I mean, Lottery, I don't even know what's going on. I mean, they're putting out news about sponsoring race cars. I mean, that's I think, a waste of money. I mean, nobody should be doing it unless they're bringing in 100 million revenues already, right? What do you call it? So we're talking about like a real news, right? So when a company's putting out news once a week, every 2 weeks, whatever, at least every 2 weeks consistently, that tells the market it's actually at the inflection point. And the whole point of 10 bagger blueprint, of what we do here, is we want to get into these stocks right at that inflection point. Okay, that's when they become 10 baggers. We want to get in right at the start of that 10 bagger window. And what's the 10 bagger window? Again, I talk about it in the book, 10 bagger blueprint. And it's this: you look at any chart out there, any stock, I don't care if it's Google, whatever it is, right? A lot of these stocks, usually they're kind of going sideways, right? But then there's like a moment in time where they can really break out and all the money is made. Like they go 10x, 20x. I'll give you an example. Look at NVIDIA. Look at NVIDIA. How do you pronounce it? NVIDIA, whatever it is, right? But that company's been around a long time. NVIDIA has been around a long time. What changed for NVIDIA? What changed for NVIDIA? I'll pull up the chart. And I don't really know too much about it, frankly. I don't know anything. But I don't know too much about NVIDIA. But what I can tell you is this. Here's the NVIDIA chart. Let's see if I can do a weekly so we can get more perspective. Look, NVIDIA was basically doing nothing for many, many years. It was 10, 15, 25, okay, 20. It basically was doing nothing until right January 23, okay? Check this out. This is NVIDIA. Here is the NVIDIA move right at 37 bucks, okay? It was 37 bucks, and that was really January of 23, by the way, was the bottom of the bear market. When this book was published, was the start of the new bull market, basically. In the first couple of weeks of January of 23, they started talking about Chat GPT, and everybody's talking about AI, and all of a sudden, people kind of, the AI bandwagon started going. And then about 6 months later, people figured out that, you need those NVIDIA chips. You need the NVIDIA chips and all that stuff. And that's when the thing went absolute bananas. Okay, so the thing was doing nothing for many, many years. I mean, more or less nothing. And all of a sudden, within the period of, a couple of months, basically from May of 23 till May was 29 bucks. And you had this massive explosion. And I can use that example with many, many other stocks. If you're on WAP, you would know, right? You're on the WAP platform, right? So you check it out. Check it out. We got everything is going there, but I think it could be Monday. So yeah. Anyhow, what's going on is let me just pop in here. Let me just do one thing real quick. Okay. I invited some people from our WAP channel from the chat if they wanted to join on the thing, and nobody's joined. I think they're all. Hang on. I think they're all. I think they're short. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Maybe the people also may not understand exactly what I mean by the panel on WAP. I'm not sure if they really understand. All right, Hunter Jr., Hunter Biden. We got Hunter Biden in the house. So anyway, the 10-bagger window. So how do you know if a stock is in the 10-bagger window, right? How do you know? You know, we launch a new stock, a next super stock. We're telling, hey, okay, this could be the next 10-bagger. Okay, you know, everybody's very positive. But how do you know it's real? How do you know? When they have the news flow, when they're putting out news every week, twice a week. Okay. Oh, look at this. We got a panelist. Okay. Who do we got? Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Narayan.
Oh, how are you?
Very good.
Very good, man.
I am looking for link, but I don't see any link. That's why I text you. I disturb you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. No, the link for what? For which link were you looking for? You're in the WAP. I think I've gotten your emails in the WAP.
Yeah, I have that one, but I looking for your message is the 7 o'clock is the live stream, and I looking the link and I don't find anywhere. That's why I text you.
Okay. No. Okay, so I sent. Okay, so this. Okay, so yeah, I think there was some confusion because what I said on the WAP is like, okay, if you want to watch, you know, you can, you know, there's the link to the YouTube, or if you want to be on the panel and actually discuss the stocks, we have the link. So if you want to, you have any questions, you have any comments, the floor is yours.
No, just I want to make sure, sir. I have the channel link and another text things is I follow the every single hours, and that means is I am okay. Is you posted is there, right?
Yeah. So by the way, I think I did get your message. Okay, so we're launching the new stock tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
And it's going to be on the Telegram channel, the private Telegram channel. We're going to let you know basically we're going to tell you on which social media platform it's going to be posted. And the reason is this, because, you know, it's kind of we want to be, you know, within the law, compliant with, you know, insider trading policies. So we can't, it's a bit of a gray area if I told everybody in our private group, okay, here's the new stock, and then I told the public, you know, an hour later. However, if we post the new stock on, let's say, I don't know, StockTwits or Twitter, Facebook, wherever it is, so it's public, but we tell you exactly what time it's going to be there. So what it does for you is it gives you, you know, essentially it gives you an advantage in terms of, like, you're going to know exactly what time to look for it, so that as soon as it pops up, you can put your order in and buy the stock. Does that make sense?
Okay, and just where I check particularly is when you where you text our people is text and message, right? Is there or the live stream on the what's the name for this? Is my screen is only one now.
It's going to be so it's going to be in it's going to be inside the Telegram. Do you have the private Telegram? You have it working?
Hold on. I have maybe the Telegram too. Yeah, this is you posted is the like the volcano something is there?
Yeah. Well, it's the Telegram channel, the one that you're looking at. Does it say Penny Stock Billionaire Gang at the top?
Yeah, you posted the Volcano Rocket some like that in is there, right?
Yeah, but it's called the name of the channel, because we have two channels. So we have the private one. At the top, it should say Penny Stock Billionaire Gang. Is that what it says on yours?
Yeah.
Then you're on the right channel. Okay. So here's what so you're in the right place. So tomorrow, be ready. You know, notice so we have, you know, this live stream is public, right? So we have a lot of people. I don't want them to know what time we're going to post it. All right. So, but it's in the Telegram. So read the messages. You'll be ready tomorrow.
Just this is I am new, sir. This is
okay.
I am new. Just Just I paid the last Friday or Thursday,
Yeah, no worries. No, you'll
and
figure it out. You'll
that's
figure
why
it out.
curious for everything and excited.
Okay, excellent. How did you find this? You found this on through
No,
TikTok?
I find the first time I find the you no TikTok, and I find the TikTok your name and penny stick billionaire something like that, and I search the YouTube, and I find there too and some videos, and
Oh,
I'm
okay,
come
okay,
back to the Facebook. I don't find the Facebook, and
okay,
I'm going to the Instagram, and I find there in Instagram too, and I follow you. And at last month, maybe 1 month, I follow you, and but I see only the is the hour later, right?
okay.
Like Seiata
Yeah,
in
yeah,
and
yeah.
other things in ADN, something like that, right? And I saw these things in chart and everything, and okay,
Okay,
this is the right place. I gotta get a right
okay,
place, and and I open your everything, and I paid a pay of that
okay.
things.
Fantastic. Okay, good. So yeah. Okay, so everything is set. Tomorrow you'll be ready. We got somebody's asking here. Anyone have Aduro Clean Technologies? Aduro Technologies, just so you know, is a scam stock. Okay, it is a straight up scam. It's a bullshit stock. It's something we would not cover on our channel. And the reason is this. Okay, if you guys, very simple. You look at the financials. This thing is a $500 million valuation. They got no business. They got like zero. I mean, what do they have in revenues? 300 grand in revenues. They got a 500, almost a $400 million. It's basically it's a pump and dump. It's a total scam. And again, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it's a fraud. I'm not saying it's a fraud. It could be. I have no idea. What I can tell you is it's a fugazi stock. It's a complete fugazi stock because they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. Here's the chart. They got absolutely nothing that could support this. Okay, now, okay, so I'm gonna hop. Thank you for joining. We'll catch up with you in the chat on the WAP. Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Okay. I get it. Okay. So hang on a second. Let me just get 1 second. 1 second. Okay. So you can stay. No, you can stay on. Just okay. So basically, guys. So this stock, Aduro is a complete pump and dump, total fugazi. Which again, $500 million market cap. They got no business. They have zero business. The business is what? They have a couple hundred grand of revenues, and who knows if they're real. Again, it's a typical Canadian Vancouver scamcouver pump and dump. Again, it's on the Canadian Stock Exchange, which is basically what we call the Canada Scam Exchange. So this be very, very wary of Aduro. All right, that's all I have to say about Aduro. Let's go on to real companies now. Let's talk about real companies. We're going to talk about Seiata for a second. Seiata, hang on a second. Let's pull up Seiata. Okay, Seiata. Now, just so you know, technically speaking, we are actually, our contract with Seiata is actually up. So technically, they're not really a client right now. You know, they're waiting for, I guess, for the merge or whatever. But look, we have a good relationship with them. I'm happy to, give them a push whenever they have some. But we're not going to give like regular. Just don't expect regular updates because they're not really a client at this time. Maybe they will be in a few months. Who knows? Anyway, let's talk about the charts, though. Again, I have no axe to grind here. This is purely opinion without any bias. So, Seiata, right now, we closed on Friday at $3. We closed on Friday at $3. Hang on 1 second. You know what, guys? If you're in the back room, I have to actually, because we're limited to the number of people that can hop on, the number of windows. So I think we got 2 people. We got Na and Ticha. Please watch on YouTube because I need that space for for the next person to hop on. We have a limited space, so I gotta kick you guys out for a second. But watch on YouTube, okay? Na and Chatana, I think I see in the thing, but I need those 2. We need those 2 spaces because for 2 more people to pop in. All right, guys, I'll hop with you later. Hang on, let me just kick you. I'm trying to hang on. How do we get? Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Ness, we got new people. Okay, so I'm limited. Ness, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm your main guy, man.
There we go. Okay, you're on our platform. We've seen your messages. All right.
Yeah.
Why don't you pop in an avatar? We got to have an avatar for you. So, just
Okay, I'll have to play with it.
you just create like a little image. I don't know, whatever, whatever it is. Which stock you want to talk about it? Which stocks you want to talk about?
Well, no, not I don't have no particular, man. I just follow your move, man. I've been in your ADN, your Seiata, a little bit of everything, man, since day one.
All right. Okay. Excellent. I remember. I think you're the guy that I think you joined. You were like one of the first members.
I was one of the first guys, yep.
I hope you're making money.
Oh man, doing pretty good. I can't complain, man.
All right. Excellent. Wait, are you the guy that said he wanted to take out a second mortage? Is that you?
Yep, that's me. Now I was joking when I said that, just FYI.
Okay. But you're making money. Okay. So, are you still in Seiata? What are you doing with Seiata?
I'm out of Seiata right now. Yeah, I jumped out.
Oh, okay. So, but you made a profit in Seiata?
Oh yeah, I did great. Yep, I did great on Seiata. I was one of those early bangers on that one. Yeah, I did phenomenal. ADN treated me really good.
Okay, excellent. I think, listen, I'm going to go back to the ADN chart. I just want to talk about Seiata real quick because I know we have a lot of people who have Seiata, so I just want to kind of bring it up. What we have right now, this thing is ready to break out. If you look at this 1 hour chart, we're right at that. This is the 1 hour chart. Again, this is like, the 5-minute charts are very sensitive, whatever, but when you get into the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, that's like the big daddy of the charts, right? That's like the one which really gets the algos going. So 30 minutes, 1 hour, those are the real serious ones. This thing is about to go nuts. If we break above $3 tomorrow, it's going to go nuts, especially if the next number to watch is 360. That's the 200 moving average on the daily charts. If we break above 360, it could be, again, it could go to $5-6. Again, we're waiting for the confirmation, the closing of this merger. When is it going to happen? I have no idea. It could be tomorrow, it could be 3 weeks. These things always take longer than you expect them, especially, the problem is, well, I shouldn't say, the challenge is you have essentially, it's an international company, right? It's a merger with like 3 international companies. So it gets complicated. So NASDAQ goes through, it takes, and NASDAQ only got the papers, I think, in July 4th weekend, right around July 4th. So we're basically almost 2 months in, which is, it sounds like a long time, but I've had firsthand experience doing this type of thing with exchanges and these types of mergers. It can take longer just because, these people are not fast. They don't move fast like bureaucrats, and it could take a couple of months. Longer than you think. As far, again, I have no information. Just I have zero information on Seiata. The only information I have is what's public in the charts, but the charts look amazing. We got a breakout already on the 30-minute. We got a breakout, and we're about to bust out on the 15-minute. So again, tomorrow, so you got 2 things. You got 2 things. You got two major algo triggers for tomorrow. You got the 15-minute chart, which is important, and then you got the 1 hour chart, which is like, those 2 things happen tomorrow. If we go at 310, this thing can like melt down the market. I don't know, Ness, what do you think?
I'm not a big chart guy, man, but I definitely do understand the background, and obviously those algos, they can kick in. I've seen it when you post them, and they hit on the money. Once they cross over, they can run real fast. So that's a good sign.
Listen, I always say, look, the only thing you need to know, like people say charts, a lot of people are not into charts, like, because, it's very subjective, it's kind of like an art. It's not a science, but I talk about in the book, 10-bagger blueprint. The one thing that is a science is the moving averages. Like anybody, like all you got to know is you got to buy these things when they're breaking out above these moving averages, and you want to sell them if they break down below the moving average. If you just do that in a disciplined way, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
I think, Ness, you've seen it yourself.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm like I said, I'm not the biggest chart guy. I don't really understand it too well, but when I see you posting it, like I said, I've definitely been seeing it. I'm more of a swinger type of guy, but
You're a
it's
swinger.
well now swing trader obviously. But yeah, no, once you post and they cross over, I've noticed that it just starts going on a nice little rally. So I've started realizing kind of how to trade those things.
And listen, all you got to do, this is very simple. I always say this. Look, all you got, anybody's got to know is, whatever system you're using. I don't know if you have Trading View, whatever, Yahoo, it's free, whatever it is. All you got to do is look at the 50 and the 200 moving averages on these like 5, 15, 30-minute. Buy, when they break out, that's it. I mean, sometimes there's a little bit of a fake out. Sometimes there's different thing, but it's very simple. Like, it's like, you can't go wrong pretty much, Again, we're not here to. This is not investment advice. Just to be clear, we're not
Yeah.
giving buy-sell recommendations. Okay, so Keith is here. Okay, so Seiata, basically, bottom line is Seiata is looking amazing for this week, and also we had after-hours action in the stock, which is pretty interesting. Look at this. It ran to 350 after hours. And you got a gold. I mean, it's really looking good for this week. I mean, this could be a major week for Seiata. So, and we're going to pull a pop. One thing I do want to say when it comes to Seiata, just so you know, again, is this big concept. You guys, hey, Adam, if you want to hop on the panel, I sent you the link. If you want to hop on, it's on a WAP. Oh yeah, how much volume was there? How much volume was there in Seiata? What was the volume of Seiata? I didn't even look at it. After hours. I like it. Okay, there we go. Allah Fagli. The book. Okay, guys. One concept I talk about in the book is, and we also have a video course. If anybody doesn't want to read, it's fine. Click the link in the bio on WAP. We got our video course of the book. So buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the rumor, sell the news. What that means is, everybody's expecting this big merger, right? After the merger happens, I'm betting that the stock is going to have like a blowout, and then it's going to crash, meaning it's going to probably go nuts, like on the optimism. Like right now, nobody believes it. That's the time to buy. But when everybody loves it, after the deal is closed, it might be trading at $9 or something, and that might be a good time to exit because, then they're going to have to probably, have a month or two of earnings, and they're going to have to, it's going to be, I think it's not going to be a straight shot to the moon. In other words, after they close the merger, it's probably going to go sideways or down. That's my bet. Not saying anything. I'm just saying that's kind of the, all right. So Ness, are you pumped for tomorrow?
Dude, man, that's why I asked you around what time so I can cancel my work meetings, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
We can't listen. It's on the WAP thing on the Telegram. You're going to know what time. You're going to know exactly.
I know.
Just be ready. I don't want to share with the public because we got like a lot of people watching.
Right.
It's going to be on Telegram. We're going to tell you but just I have the message.
I got you.
I think I told people pretty much to be ready what time, but because look, this thing. I mean, again, I know people say, oh, this guy, I'm like a hype guy. Here's the truth. This new stock is what makes it super special is it's already like the volcano is already, like the lava is already flowing. It's not like, usually our stocks, the volcano is kind of quiet, right? There might be a little bit of smoke, but there's no lava, it's not even rumbling. It's just a little bit, it's like a dormant volcano, but we know it's going to go off. Here, the volcano is already like, starting to go. And the big, and this thing has a history of making runs in the past. So it's in the DNA. I think I talk, you know what I'm talking about? Ness, like it's kind of part of the DNA of that stock. It's had those like runs in the past.
Yeah. I'm ready for it, man.
So I think the key, I think the key with the new stock, frankly, is as soon as it's out, as soon as it's on, posted on, whichever social media platform it is, whether it's Truth Social, whether it's StockTwits, whichever one it's going to be, is to get in all I would advise you guys is basically to have your like your trading platform open, like an order typed in, just ready for the symbol, and just ready to go, because this thing is, I think it's going to move real quick. The only tricky part is to make sure you get the order in, because I don't like market orders, because I don't know where it could get filled. I don't know where it could get filled, but if you do a limit, you might miss. So I don't know. What's your plan for tomorrow?
I think for me, when it's I think my platform, anything under like $3, you have to put it as a limit order. Can't do a market order for some reason. I usually just kind of look at it real quick, see what it's trading at, and I try to put it a cent or two under it. That's kind of usually the plan I go with, or
Okay.
right above it, just to kind of get when I'm so early into it, to just try
Yeah.
to make sure I get a fill in.
I think, again, have you traded? I know you've been on our platform for a while, but I think, you know what it is? I think when we actually launched the WAP thing, it was right after we launched it, we only really had one stock. Well, actually, no, we had two stocks. We had ADTX and an ADN, right? Did you get into
Yeah.
ADTX?
Yeah, I got into ADTX. Yep.
Did you make money on ADTX?
I did. I just jumped out way too early, but it paid for the channel a couple times.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, this is what I tell people. Look, it's $200, and people say, "Oh my God, it's a lot of money." But hey, all you need is it gives you that edge, which it pays for itself, right away, pretty much. But also it screens out. Look, I don't want to have 1,000 people on the thing, because that's going to ruin it for everybody. We can only have like a limited number of people. But I think what I was going to say is, I would, again, I don't know if maybe other people have advice. If somebody else maybe has any input, but I think with these stocks, when they're going to pop, it may make sense maybe to put a limit order in, but with I don't know, maybe for example, let's say the stock is $1, maybe you put a limit of $1.30, which sounds a lot, but the thing you may not get filled at $1.10 or $1. You know what I'm saying? You might get filled at $1.20. But if it works, it's going to be a $2 stock that afternoon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But again, I'm not here to, just to be clear, I'm not here to give people advice, orders. Everybody's got their own. Again, there's a lot of, we've got a lot of experienced people here. So I just thought maybe one of the reasons I sent out the link is, I thought maybe some people had input, maybe Adam. Adam, how do you trade these stocks? Do you put a limit in, or what's kind of your strategy? So if Adam wants to let us know. Okay, so we're talking about Hoth. Somebody was asking about Hoth. So here's the deal with Hoth. Ness, are you in Hoth?
Not no more. No, I'm not in Hoth right now. Mm-mm.
Okay, so Hoth.
ADN is really the only one I'm still in.
Okay.
Yep.
No. So by the way, here's the thing. A lot of times, right? A lot of times, like, everybody gets into these stocks, they get out. Everybody wants the action, but then the real money is usually made in the second wave, meaning like after a couple of months, they're going sideways, then they break out. That's when the thing you can make, like 5 times your money or more. That's when the big money is made.
I learned my lesson. That's the reason I'm still on ADN.
Yeah. No, I think ADN has legs. I think this can keep running. It's so we got okay. So in terms of Hoth, we got a pennant formation, right? Like, and again, we've seen this thing with all our 10 bagger stocks. I think Keith here, who's been with us for a number of years. I think he's been in a bunch of our stocks that became 10 baggers or even 50 baggers. And this type of formation. When they break out of this formation, that's when all the money is made. That's like when they go to the moon. And Hoth is right there. It's just waiting to go. And when is it going to happen? I don't know. Notice, the thing is going to explode. You just don't know what time. And we're above the 200 moving average. We're breaking above the 50. The thing is primed. I just don't know when. It's like, and I've been saying, look, I'm like infamous for saying, "Oh, it's breaking out, it's breaking out." Everybody makes fun, but it is. But that's the signal. I mean, that's. I'm just telling you what the chart is telling me. It's. Oh, this guy puts a market order in. Okay. Yeah, I think it's different. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think yeah. Yeah. I think if you're super early, you can do a market order. I think if you're super early, but again, you're just taking a risk. But if you're doing a market order, like 5 minutes after launch, when everybody's piling in, then it can, it might get filled at the high of the day. So that's what I'm saying. Anyway, Hoth is looking super explosive. Just to answer whoever had a question here. What else do we have here? Let me just pop in. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to show. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can show something here. Hey, by the way, Ness, did you see that video I had with? Wow. Okay, Adam is in 5 seconds within 5 seconds after seeing the ticker. Okay, yeah. Listen, I think if you're in within 5-10 seconds, like literally, I mean literally 5-10 seconds, 15 seconds, you should be good. It's just that after 30 seconds, these things can really go crazy. And that's the advantage. That's the whole point of paying the $200, so that you're not wasting time. You're prepared. Hang on a second. Let me see slides. Book video. Okay. Okay. I think okay. Hey, by the way, I just want to show you guys some slides here. This is some of our previous 10 baggers. Just to give you, again, the charts. I mean, these charts basically, all the charts of this, you're seeing the same pattern. Like, you see, Ness, you see this chart on the screen?
Yep, I got it.
You get that sideways pattern and then it breaks out.
Yep.
I think that's what we're looking at right now with Hoth, basically. So all the money, if you look at it, like, people, like example, this stock, we introduced it at 50 cents, and it was now this one was kind of slow. It did nothing for a couple of months. Then it went up to like $1 or $1.50. Everybody was all excited. They sold at $1.50. They tripled their money, and then it tripled again. Again, we went through the same process for a couple of months. People sold, it took profits. The real money was made in the third wave when it went like parabolic. It just went bananas.
Okay.
So there we go. Okay, so Visby, here's another. I mean, again, another example. Goes sideways, breaks out. Peak FinTech, one of our famous ones. It was, it took a while for people. Went up like I think 5x. What's the number? It's 8x or 10. The real money is made in that last wave after that breakout. You see the pattern, Ness. You see the pattern here. It's the breakout.
I see it.
It happens after everybody gives up because they're impatient.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we got more people here. Okay, hang on a second. We got a party here. We got Rainy House. Rainy House, are you there? Rainy House. Okay, turn on your mic. Rainy House, your mic is off. Okay, you got to turn on your mic. Okay, I don't know if the guy's in. Anyway, so Peak FinTech, CBDT. This is like one of I think Keith. This is Keith was in this stock. We introduced it at a nickel. It went to 50 cents. People made 10 times the money. And I don't know if Keith remembers, but back over here, back in like January of that year, after it went up 10x, I was saying, what? Normally, I would say, look, the thing is done. I would say normally it's done, but it was just going sideways. It was building that pennant. I would say, shit, this thing just wants to go higher. It's not going down. And it exploded. It went to 250 with a massive move. Next tech, another one, fans. Imagine AR. Again, all of them, same thing. It's like the same pattern. Oh, by the way, I want to show you guys something. This is funny. So this is actually from, we got testimonials from people, right, who've made money with our stocks, right? So this guy, Shark Attack, I think he turned $1,000 into 60 grand. We got this guy, he's sending us a picture of his Jaguar. These are most of these guys are Canadian, by the way. Here we go. Oh, this is our current members. Ness, I think you might be in here. I think Ness, there's your screenshot. That's you. Did you make 70 grand?
No, that one wasn't me. Sounds good though. No, the ADN one's the one that I doubled up on. I did almost 10 grand on that one here.
Okay, so it's a different guy. But we got a couple people made like 80 grand. Like a bunch of people made like big money with that one. And it's a couple of guys. Okay, so here's the crazy thing. So we have a video, an infamous video where we had one guy in our audience is like a 22-year-old kid. Basically, what he did was he put all his money into one stock. That stock went up for like 5x. Then the next one we launched went up like another 5x, or it was a 10 bag or whatever. But he did it back to back for about 3 or 4 times, and he turned. I think it was 2. We had one guy I think we had one guy who said he turned 2 grand to $1 million or 10. Well, basically, a couple of guys turned a couple of grand into like over $1 million. And it sounds crazy, but here's the deal. Look, if you're willing to do that, meaning like you're willing to go all in on a stock, and I highly do not recommend this. You go into one stock, you make, let's say you put 5 grand to a stock, you make 5 times your money. Now you got 25 grand. You put into the next deal. Maybe that one doubles or triples. Now you got 50 or 75 grand. The next deal maybe triples, or again, now you got let's say 100 or 150 grand, and the next one could be a 5 bag or whatever. But and then you hit, or if you hit a 10 bagger right away, and then so there's different combinations. I don't know. We never know which stock is going to be the one that's going to be the big win, or when somebody sells or get so there's a lot of factors at work. But this is kind of the parlay strategy, which is if somebody wants to be like a real degenerate, it might be okay for them. But this is I think we're going to definitely see people doing that. Yeah, Keith. Oh, right, Calvin Ting. Keith remembers. It was Calvin Ting, the Canadian legend. So all right, so there we go. Private channel. Oh yeah, guys. So here's the deal. Quick plug for the channel. So here's the deal. If you want to get the early alerts when we launch that new banger stock, you want to get in early. You want to get in the first 10 seconds. Click the link in the bio. In the video description below on WAP. It's on WAP. That's where we have it. It's you click there. You sign up. It's $200 a month. And what you get is this. You get the early alerts. You get our private Telegram channel, which tells you what time and where we're launching that new banger. That's number one. That's the big value. But also, maybe even more important, if you're like more of a day trader, we have on that Telegram, we got signals going all day long, telling you when something is breaking out, or all day long we got stuff, and you can make a lot of money off there. I mean, so I think Adam has obviously made use of that. And I think Ness, do you ever do any day trading from the signals, or you just buy?
Yeah, I definitely have an account just for strictly day trading those. Which the first 2 days, 3 days are phenomenal with the volatility on those. You make some good money.
There we go. We got Ryan. Is Ryan here? Okay, we got. Okay, I don't know. They keep leaving. They're shy. I don't. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so okay, so we got that. We talked about that. Yeah. So this is some people. Life changing. Yeah, I mean, if you can turn a couple of grand to a couple of million, that's the deal. Hang on, so let's go back to the charts. Again, not for everybody. We don't recommend it, but if somebody wants to do that, they're bored. Why not? We got Tome. Okay, Tome. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, Tome, welcome. Yeah. How are you?
Thank you. You good, and you?
Great. Buenas noches.
You
So
both.
I don't know how to say it in Portuguese. I don't know. You have a different language.
It's like you say. It's not that much different. It's tume, but yeah, you say it right.
Tome. So it's what it's got to be like 2 in the morning over there.
Uh, where I am, yeah, it's 2 in the morning. Yeah, I'm in Germany right now.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to keep you up. So just be ready tomorrow.
No, that's okay. I'm working.
We're going to be launching, the new stock tomorrow. It's going to be on the Telegram.
Yeah, I'm aware.
We've seen you. You've been on our TikTok, on our YouTube. You've had a lot of good comments. You got any questions or comments that you want to share with the audience?
Um, I just want to say I'm a little disappointed with the ADTX. It's kind of, I don't know. It's stuck. Like you say, it wants to go up, but it's stuck with the lack of news, and it's kind of frustrating.
I'm more frustrated than you because the problem with ADTX is like this thing. It's got everything for. I mean, and again, like it's got everything it takes, to run. The
Yeah,
problem is, frankly, the problem is, and I've talked to the CEO. The problem is no news flow. There's no news flow, and I've talked to him.
exactly.
I said, listen, man, this is what you got to do, and you have to be
Yeah,
aggressive. You got to let people know what the size of the opportunity is, and everything else. And they're kind of conservative in a strange way. They're kind of conservative. Well, we don't want to like make it because the markets they're addressing them. These are massive, multi-billion-dollar opportunities. You got to tell the market what's going on, and the things.
exactly.
So here's the point. Why is ADN running? There's 2 reasons. One is, yes, it was deeply undervalued, great story, there's promotion, but underlying it is the news flow. It's the news.
Exactly. Yeah.
They've had 3 press releases in the last week, which is the support. It's the support.
Yeah.
Without the support, if you don't have support, you got nothing. It's like
It's like you say in your book, people lose interest.
they lose it. Listen, it's funny. I made a video. It's on TikTok. I actually did a video, which was, I think I did it like 2 years ago. This was like during the war and I kind of used the example, like the news flow, that's kind of the ammunition. And I don't know if you remember, look, you're in Europe. So you remember when that guy, the guy from the Russian guy who was, remember the guy who was running something called the Wagner Group? He was going to like create a rebellion and march on Moscow. Remember that guy? Wagner Group?
No.
The Chichik guy, Chichik or something like that. It's a
No,
weird name.
his name was Prigozhin.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And he got blown up in the plane. Okay, here's for anybody that doesn't know. Here was the story. So, look, Putin invades Ukraine. The whole it's going back and forth. Whatever. Okay, and the whole war is just totally screwed up. But he gets this guy, this company Wagner Group, which is basically like a mercenary army that he has. It was created by this guy Prigozhin, who is like a guy who started off as a caterer or like making hot dogs. He was basically he had a hot dog stand. This guy had a hot dog stand in Moscow. Next thing you know, he becomes like a caterer for Putin. He becomes a billionaire. And then he starts a mercenary group. Like the Russians have these mercenary armies like all over, like in Africa and all over the fucking. I mean, they're always meddling in Syria, whatever it is. Basically, anyway, so he can't. So Putin can't find any soldiers to go fight in Ukraine, right? He can't get people to go. So he gets this guy Prigozhin. Basically, he says, "Hey, look, you got to put together a mercenary army for me. I don't care who you get. We just need body." And because that's what the Russians do. Like they don't really care about their people. They just throw bodies at any problem. They've always done that. Whatever it is. So he gets this guy Prigozhin, right? And he's got this, and this guy's like an animal. He's a completely, ruthless guy. I mean, really. And he starts recruiting guys out of prisons. Basically, he says, "Listen, you guys are here in prison. You're doing life, whatever it is. You can get out, and you go to the front lines. You go in the army, and if you survive, you're going to be free. Basically, if you make it after 6 months, you're a free man. Basically, that was the deal, right? And they start making progress, right? They start making progress, and they're kind of winning. All of a sudden, the generals, the professional army gets jealous because this guy, he's got like also like hardcore guys who fought in Africa and Syria, like all these different conflicts. He's got like a hardcore guys, and he's got all these prisoners, and these guys are actually starting to win the war. And the professional generals also they cut off his arms supply. They stopped sending him. They stopped sending, ammunition. And if you got no ammunition, it doesn't matter what you have.
You can fight.
If you got no support, you have no air support, you got no ammo, so that's why the guy rebelled, is because he got pissed off. He went on a march on Moscow. He was gonna like have a coup. And it was a big deal. I don't know if anybody remembers, a couple of years ago. Then somehow Putin let him back into the country. They made friends, and a couple of months later, the guy's flying in a plane with a couple of his guys, and it explodes.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember. That was on the news. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah.
So that was the thing. So anyway, I made a video a couple of years ago because I was saying, listen. You got to have, it was right at that time. I said, look, the problem is with these companies is if you're not supplying the ammo, you're not supplying, it's a waste, it's like, what's the point? And
the last time you were on a live stream with the CEO of ADTX, he said that he wanted to do another live stream to talk about Evofan.
I told him, there's a bunch of stuff. But listen, here's what I told him. I'm telling you something which maybe I shouldn't be saying, but here's the conversation I had was this. I said, look, we got to have some news flow. Like this is, the live streams are great. I'm happy to do it, but you got a lot of stuff to talk about. I know you have stuff to talk about. You can put out the news, but we got to have some news flow. We can't just do live streams. We got to have news flow because otherwise, the market, gets bored. The thing is that when we do these live streams with the CEO, it only works as a turbocharger, just to give it an extra. The company has to be doing their own news. They got to have news, So that's the key. Anyway, look, I like the story. I like the valuation is cheap. They get all the right stuff, but they got to get their act together in terms of news. So I told them, look, you got to get some news flow, and then we'll push it. I mean, because it's ready to go. The stock is ready to go, but it's got to have news.
Yeah, I think it was doing a pennant formation. You reposted that on. I sent you on Twitter, and you reposted, and
look,
it just
the current chart, which is like I'm looking at. It looks like the 1 hour chart. It's kind of like it's hard to make it out, but it's almost like a inverse head and shoulders a little bit. Look, if the stock, let's say, broke above that moving average, the 200, it went to like $1.25. Then you basically would have a bottom. You would have an inverse head and shoulders. So it's very close, and it would happen, if they put out the news. So they got to have that news flow. So that's the big thing. It's the one thing that we can't control is we don't know if the company, and this is the big challenge, right? Whenever I'm talking to a new company, and I'm very selective with the companies I bring on. And even with that, you never know. I have a video on, I have a chapter in the book on CEO quality. Tommy, did you read the book? You read the book. You have the book.
Yeah, I finished it last week, I believe.
Did you read the chapter on the CEO quality?
Yes, I did.
So, listen, as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important thing. If you want to have a stock that becomes like 100 bagger that goes to the moon, you got to have 100 bag. You got to have a CEO who understands what needs to be done. And the fact is, and this is sad, what most people don't realize, for most of the companies in this micro cap space, under 500 million market cap, a lot of these guys, they don't really know how to do this. They don't know like that what they're supposed to do, because there's no school that teaches them, stock promotion or like, hey, this is how you make the stock. Like they don't know that, and and a lot of them maybe have an ego. They think that, oh, if I'm going to build a business, the stock is going to take care of itself, which is bullshit, basically, But listen, what I tell every CEO that signs on our platform, I say, listen, here's the deal. If you show up on our live stream twice a month and you do 3 news releases a month, at least 3 news releases a month, I guarantee that your stock is going to go up at least. I mean, for sure, it'll be on the road to being a 10 bagger. At the worst, it'll only go up 500%. But you got to consistently do it. You got to consistently put out the news flow, do the lot for at least 3 months. Every CEO who's ever done that has had at least a 500% increase. A lot of them start out.
The last news that they posted, I saw on Yahoo, it was like a prize or something on
That's bullshit.
FM. Like,
yeah, it's bullshit.
That doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care about that. I want to know how the company is doing, what milestones are they achieving, what they want to do in the future, and basically what you teach in your book. What do they want to do? What projects, acquisitions?
Because those things, like what you just mentioned, those are the things that move the stock. That's what investors care about. See, the thing is this: most public company CEOs, like 90% of public company CEOs, 95%, they have no idea how investors, how the market thinks. They have no idea. They've never been involved. They've never sold a stock in their life. They never worked as like a stockbroker. They never, had to get on the phone and call, people selling stock, like whatever back. Well, they've never been involved in the markets. I mean, they just, they're a business guy. It's not the same. The business and the stock, 2 different animals. They're different animals, and you got to manage the stock. And again, look, everybody. I want ADTX to do well. I want it to be a 10 bagger. I want it to have massive volume. I want it to go to the moon. I do, and everybody else who's in it does. The CEO of the company needs to, they got to get their act together in terms of news flow, and they got plenty of stuff to talk about. They really have to, make a commitment. They got to do it.
Yeah.
Stuff
for me personally. Sorry. Keep going. Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm saying they do have. They have the right. They have enough. Fundamentally, they have enough stuff. They have enough stuff to talk about, and they should do it. So go ahead.
For me individually, like I'm a guy who wants to make money, like the rest of us. I just need the stock to go to $2, to 50. If it goes higher, better for me. I can triple or do a 4x, 5x with my money, because I was able to lower my dollar cost average from the first time I bought the stock. I believe I bought it at 120, 125. And then it was going sideways, it was going lower, and there was that time that the stock hit 85 cents, and you did a live stream, I believe, and I commented it, and you thought I was on the private channel, but I wasn't, because I told you I bought at 88 cents. And you said that you posted something on your private channel that it was a signal or a good time to buy.
Yeah,
and I bought it, and I was able to cut my dollar cost average to right now it's at $1.08.
Okay, not bad. No, it's not bad. But I got to tell you, listen, I commend you for buying in at 88 cents. That's like everybody was panicking. Everybody, that was like, people were ready to give up. I mean, everybody gave up basically at that point.
Yeah.
What made you decide to buy? Why did you decide to buy at 88 cents?
Well, there's one thing that I've learned a lot. Like, I'm 27 years. I'm not that old, and I'm not here a long time. Also, I entered in this world, the stock market world, like 3-4 years ago. And one thing I learned was that you should buy when everybody sells. Buy the dump. And when I saw the stock dumping, that for me it was a sign I should buy, and I bought it.
Yeah, listen, it's very hard to do for most people. It's very hard to do because you're going in the complete opposite direction. It's like but that's the old expression. What's the famous expression? You got to buy when the blood is running in the streets. Even if
Yeah,
it's
I
your own.
think it was. I don't know if it was Warren Buffett that said, when everybody has fear, you should have greed or be
Yes, yeah,
greedy.
be greedy.
Something.
Be
Yeah,
greedy. Yeah, be greedy when everybody's fearful, and be fearful when everybody's greedy.
yeah. So I've learned some things through these years, and
No, but listen, but it takes a lot of
more with
discipline.
your book.
Listen, I have to commend you. Listen, there's a difference between theory and practice. Listen, but to do what you're doing, because I think I've said this a couple times. The time to buy is like when you want to throw up. That's when you want to buy. Like when you're really scared, the thing looks like it's going to crash. You're ready to give up because you feel that emotion. Because everybody's feeling that emotion. That's the trick. Everybody else is feeling. If you're feeling like you want to throw up, I guarantee you, everybody else is feeling. That's why stock is cheap.
Yeah.
And time to sell is when you think, oh my God, it's going to $1 million. This thing is like this is. I'm gonna buy a yacht. That's the time to sell, basically. And it's hard to manage.
Let me tell you something. I've had a problem with my trading platform because I sold all my portfolio. It wasn't that much. It was only 2,000 euros. When I sold it, I told my wife, I'm going all in with this stock, with the new ADN. And
Okay.
when it was time to buy the stock, it was already at 250. I couldn't buy put the 2,000 euros. I was only able to buy 600.
Okay.
It was very frustrated. Frustrating. And let me tell you something. If someday I do like 50K, 60K, 70K, like some of the members did, I'm quitting my job. Like, I don't care.
I think in Portugal you could do it because you have so good, you have good low cost of living. You have social, benefits. You could do it with 50 grand. You could actually do it because you might be able to, run it up.
Yes. But yeah,
Like this
in
guy, like these
Portugal,
guys.
the living cost is
Wait,
it's going.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on, I just got to open this window. Yeah. But basically, look, like, would you now? Let me ask you a question. I was talking about the strategy where people like parlayed. They went all into one stock. They ran that. They took all that money. They put it to the next. Basically, they went one from the other. And if you have back to back, a couple of back to back, 5 baggers or whatever, all of a sudden it could become big, But
Yeah.
what if one of them blows up? It's game over,
Yeah. But man, I took a shot. But I wasn't able to put all of the money, the 2,000. And honestly, I'm glad because I have money on ADN. Now I
Yeah.
have money ready for the new stock, and And yeah,
Okay, good. By the way, which you have you use what, like an app, like a trading app or something?
yes, Trading 212. That's the
Okay.
name of the app.
I think again, I think like some of the European apps, like I don't
Yes,
think
I
they're
believe
that.
it's from England.
Yeah, this I think
I don't know.
I would say, look, I think one of the best. Again, I don't know if you have access, but one of the best platforms. It's more of like it's almost like a professional platform. It's interactive brokers. If you could, it was like if with interactive brokers, you could basically trade whatever you want. There's no limits and whatever. It's a more, it's not like a Robinhood. It's a much more, it's a little more, what is it, sophisticated, whatever. But it's a very, they have the best execution, which is very
Is
important.
that an American app?
Yeah,
Broker?
I mean, yeah. Look up interactive brokers.
I can't right now. I'm driving.
Oh, okay. Okay. No. So yeah. So basically, yeah, interactive brokers, because it makes, look, when you're trading these type of penny stocks, especially when they're moving fast, it makes the execution makes a big difference. Because
Yeah.
if these guys, like, they send the order somewhere else, it gets delayed, or they play games with it, you could basically lose 10%, 20. I mean, you might miss, it's very, you really need to have like professional level execution with these like stocks when they're moving fast. So that's what I always.
Yeah, you're right.
It becomes
I
a
think
big deal.
when I've put the market order, it was very fast. The only thing that made me mad, it was the impossibility to put the 2000.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. The rest, yeah, it was very fast. As soon as I put the order, it was filled.
Okay.
But there's
So,
one another trading app that we have here, and I'm thinking of changing. It's called the Freedom 24. I don't know if you know it.
I don't know. There's a
Yeah.
lot. There's so many of them out there. I mean, like, I think it makes sense almost to have a few as a backup, just
Yeah.
Because you never know. It's kind of like some of them don't do certain. Like, I think with ADTX, like, they don't allow you to trade on certain platforms. ADTX, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, so it's a little bit annoying, but yeah. Anyway, look, we got, so tomorrow. Hang on, let me put, so tomorrow we're gonna have the new stock. And I'm hoping it does well. I think it'll do well. I mean, it's got everything going for it. It's got everything going. The charts are great. I think when we post a picture of the charts tomorrow, everybody will understand, like, why I'm so excited about it. I mean, the charts are right, like, the volcano is exploding.
Are they better than ADN when you launched it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, better. Yeah, better.
Okay, if it's better, then I think we will all make tons of money.
I'll tell you why. Well, it's different. It's different. I'll tell you why it's better. It's better for two reasons. One is that it's already breaking out of the moving averages, and it's got all the algos are about to go off. When we launched ADN, it was not quite there. It was about to happen, but it wasn't there yet. So, technically, it wasn't quite. And the other thing about this one is it has a history of making big runs recently. So that means that there's a lot of eyes on the stock. It has like better market dynamics. The one thing I like about ADN better, though, is that ADN has it's been around a long time, and if you look at the chart, it was once like in theory $500 a share, because they did reverse splits, all that nonsense. But I always say, stocks like to go back to old highs. It's like a thing. Does it happen? No, not always. Sometimes it does happen. I mean, it happened. It did happen with CBDT, that stock that went up 50x. It's
Yeah,
exactly
I
what happened.
wasn't here back then.
No, that was like 4 years ago. But that's exactly what happened. And if you look here, this is the 1-day chart of ADN. In theory, again, this is like there was splits. It doesn't really. It's not the reality, but in theory, this was a $500 stock at one point. So what if it goes back to $50? If you look at the chart right here, it could go to $50 or $100. Like that's where the big resistance is, around $100, around that $100 level. That's the big resistance. By the way, I'm not saying it's going there. I'm not like, but by the way, if it did go to
It could go. We don't know. It could go.
Listen, here's the thing. We have seen so many stocks that very similar to ADN that all of a sudden exploded, like that one which was the they started doing a crypto thing or whatever. It was like a $2 stock or something, and then 2 days later it was $150. It was like a month ago. It was which one? It was what was it called? I forgot the name. It was like last month. It was a company.
They created a crypto reserve.
Yeah, exactly. They basically they were going out of business. They were a failed company. They had no business plan. It was basically they were going bust. And somebody told them. I said, "Hey, why don't we buy Ethereum?" Yeah, okay, whatever. And they did this Ethereum play. All of a sudden, the stock went from $2 to, I think it went to $150, and went back
And
down.
I think they did well because Ethereum just hit a new all-time high. I think today.
Yeah, but that stock is now, I think it's now at like $15 or whatever. It dropped back to
It's dropping. Yeah.
It dropped basically to what the book value of the Ethereum, whatever the Ethereum is,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, look, this stock also has got some other things going for it, which I can't talk about it too much because then people will kind of figure it out, because it's kind of like this one might be a little bit too. Might be a little bit easy for people to kind of get. But
Figure
anyway, look, so I was going to do it on Tuesday, but I'm going to do it tomorrow because it started to move on Friday. Like on Friday, it was already up, and it like I don't want to wait. And I think we're gonna have like a good couple of weeks in the market because of there's like the market psychology now with they're gonna cut interest rate. There's the euphoria.
If they cut, it will be very bullish, and we'll see the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, the S&P do another run.
But no, if you look at the Nasdaq chart, I mean, it's going like parabolic. It's basically like hang on a second, let me pull it up. I mean, this thing is ready to go. It's ready to go to the moon. But it might do a crazy blowout and then crash in November or something. You might have a very positive September. We might see some crazy parabolic type move.
No, yeah, but. Well, whenever they do a big move, they have to have a correction. That's the market.
Here's the thing, because what would make the market go up? You got a couple factors. Okay, you got the interest rate, which people already have it kind of, they have it figured out. Okay, maybe. What if what do you call it? I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of things that can happen which would put people in a good mood. So there's a lot of positive type of, white swan type of events, which people aren't expecting, and but the market might overshoot. It might just go completely off the rails. So, but we're going to have, I think, a very good positive things happening. So we have a window of a couple of weeks right now, 3-4 weeks, where any stocks which are putting out good news can really run.
Now people can see what Trump can do.
No, I think. Look, listen. I think one of the things I think probably that could move the market is let's say all of a sudden you got Trump creates peace with Russia and Ukraine and the Middle East, with whatever, within 2 weeks. all of a sudden everybody's going to feel, oh my God, this is like, when Berlin Wall came down, which was like, before you were born. But, when that happened, everybody was in a good mood. When the Berlin Wall came down, it was like, that was the beginning of the 90s. What was it, 1990 or something? I think it was. And everybody thought, oh my God, that's it. We got world peace forever. Forever.
You wish.
So that was, so I think that we could have that type of thing. And then maybe there's, NVIDIA has good earnings or something else. There's a lot of positive things that can happen that people are not really expecting, so those upside surprises could really give it a boost. But yeah, so anyway, so back to the ADN, because you're an ADN. I think the ADN chart right now looks, and that was what we were talking about before you joined, like early on. I mean, the thing is ready to explode. If you look, 5-minute charts.
That looks like a cup and handle. If you zoom in,
yeah, I mean,
it looks like
15-minute chart. Also, look at this. I mean, it's such a powerful chart. It like wants to go higher. It's like.
Listen, I'm not an expert at reading charts. I may say something that it's insane. I'm not an expert.
No, but this is, no, but you're on the money. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, look, people have different ways of trading stocks. Some people are chart readers. Some people are more like, they follow the market psychology. Everybody's got a different, whatever works for you is what you should, so like, you have a different feel for it. I think you got a good feel for it. So, it's, this thing is ready to move. I think so. Let me see what else we got this week. So we got Hoth. We talked about Hoth, which was in a.
I'm in Hoth. I got Hoth.
What's that?
I have Hoth.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Just a little, because but at the time I had a little money.
Yeah. No, the thing
I was short.
The stock is basically, again, like, it's ready to go. Like, it exploded for, after we launched, and then it's been going sideways. It hasn't gone down, which is good news, which is like, that's a positive. It's basically been forming this pennant. Now there's another stock we're involved with, which is Snow Lake, which is the uranium stock. And this one has this one has the same problem that ADTX does, which is they're not putting out news, and they have a lot of stuff they could talk about, but without the news flow, like, But the chart is looking good. You got a double bottom here. It's ready to break out on the charts. It's right, on that 50 moving average.
Did someone on the chat made money with LITM?
I think a couple of people did. It's had a couple of runs. The problem is every time it had a run, it pulled back. And I said this, I think, on one of our Telegram things. I said this chart, for whatever reason, it's like very tricky, and every time it breaks out, like it pulls back, or it's a very tricky chart. It's like very it's not reliable, It's just not reliable.
Yeah.
So but they basically have to have news. That's kind of that's the one thing that these guys, the one stock that right now is delivering news is ADN. So that's what So, and by the way, the new stock we're going to have tomorrow, I think they're going to have. I mean, listen, I have to tell. I mean, every CEO tells them they're going to. I mean, everybody says that. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. That's the thing. It's the hardest thing. The hardest part of this whole business is, you're dealing with, human beings. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know how they're going to act. They're unpredictable. It's like animals. They're unpredictable.
Exactly.
They say they're going to do it, and then they don't. They say nothing, and then all of a sudden, you really never know. You got to give them a benefit of the doubt. But that's why I say, look, we launch a stock, and what you want to wait for is news flow. If the company has news the first couple of weeks, okay, it means we've got momentum. If there's no news, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, then it's like we said, people lose interest and they start selling, and the stock price goes down.
And especially because the whole thing that what this channeled platform is all about is we're telling everybody, the whole premise is, okay, this is, we call it our next super stock, the next super stock, meaning this thing could be a 10-bagger. This thing could go to the moon. It's at the inflection point. They got catalysts. Everything is going to happen right now. And if it doesn't happen, but after we launch, if it doesn't happen for the first couple of weeks, it's over. It's I mean, it could come back. They could get going, but it's not a good sign, is all I will say. It's not a good. I mean, sometimes they have fits and starts. We've had that. You could have these fits and starts. All I will say is this. I'll put it this way. Long term, like we've had stocks, for example. I'll give you an example. Hang on a second. So, for example, okay, this stock here. So this stock, Imagine AR, we introduced it at 2 cents and it went to 36 cents in like a couple months. And the problem there was, very similar. Like, the company, first they had a little bit of news, then they stopped putting out news for like, 2 months basically, and basically died. And then all of a sudden, they woke up. They woke up. They started putting out news, and it caught on, and the stock ran. It exploded. And then they raised a bunch of money, at I don't know, 30 cents. And then, they figured, okay, we got money in the bank. We don't need to promote the stock anymore. We don't need to put out news, and and it dropped all the way back down.
Yeah.
So I guess the point is, it's habits. It's like, you're dealing with human beings. It's like the habits. Okay. So if somebody but if somebody shows you they have good habits in the beginning, okay, it means that, they're going to continue. But, if you see bad habits, meaning like, okay, they got news, then they stop, or they stop, then you realize, okay, it could be a problem. They're not, it could be a 10-bagger. Again, this stock was a 10-bagger. But, and we had a couple of others. I mean, actually, a lot of these, when they had news, they were going up. And okay, so this guy did always well. This company, Next Tech, when we were involved with that, it was always doing well. Again, this guy, once they stop the news flow, it
goes down.
Yeah, so that's why I always say you got to look for the news. And I tell every CEO, I tell every one of these CEOs, our audience, they're expecting news. So if you don't have news, don't blame me if your stock does nothing. I'm only as good as your news flow, really. It's like I'm not. It's like I don't make the stocks go up. I don't do that. I can point to something about to happen based on whatever, and it's likely to happen or whatever. And we can put a lot of eyeballs on it. But if somebody doesn't deliver the fundamentals, then G saying, please. Yeah, tomorrow's stock is tradable on all platforms, 100%. 100%. And I don't think it'll get halted. I don't think it will get halted because we've seen some big volume with that one, and because now we do this thing where we first roll it out, it's going to be okay. Because I think the mistake I made with Hoth, frankly, is with that stock. I think the mistake was we announced it like immediately. Everybody saw it all at once, and everybody like tried to rush through the door. Like literally, there might have been 1,000 orders that hit the market, and it just they couldn't take it. So.
I'll be awake by the time you launch the stock. I'll be awake.
Okay. Good. All right. So okay,
because
listen,
I'll have to. Sorry. I'll have to unload the truck. Then I'll go to sleep. And yeah, by the time you launch the stock, I'll be awake.
Okay, excellent. Okay, yeah. So just I'm saying, just be ready. Well, it's on Telegram. I said approximately. It's on the WAP Telegram. I told everybody.
Yeah.
So okay, all right, good. Let's see. Any other questions? Any comments from anybody? I guess that wraps it up. All right, guys. Tome, thank you. I've got not. Let me see. Not. Any questions before we go?
Hello.
Hi, Na.
Yeah. I have one question. Is how many time before market open you announce the sample?
We're going to. In other words, we're going to let you know to be ready. But basically, all I can say is this: look at the Telegram channel. I can't say it here. I can't say it in public. Read the Telegram.
Okay.
But be ready.
I understand.
Be ready when the market opens. Was all I'm saying. Be ready when the market opens. It's
with the trading app open.
Yeah.
Oh, that means we have a time for the minute, 2 minutes.
You're gonna try to do it as fast as you. Once you see the symbol, try to do it as fast as you can.
All right.
That's.
Everybody will go down and buy it, and the stock will explode.
By the way, I just want to say, I'm not recommending. I'm not making a buy or sell recommendation. I'm just saying that when a stock starts going, it's better to do it early. I'm not saying buy or sell. This is not a buy sell.
Exactly.
Not investment.
Yeah.
Not just to be clear, this is not investment.
I understand.
No, okay. Just to be clear, it's not investment advice. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you everybody for joining. I gotta take this stock off. Hang on. Let me pull this off here. Where's our thing here? There we go. Okay. All right, guys. We'll see everybody tomorrow. I think we're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow near the close. We'll see how tomorrow's stock is doing. Again, it's got really everything that we're looking for. The charts are looking absolutely amazing. And by the way, the CEO, the one thing I can say about the CEO of the new stock, the new BANGER, is this guy is like very, very. He's a really, really good presenter. He's like a young, ambitious guy, and he has a track record. He's like a business guy. He's built a real business. They have a real business. It's a real, they have real revenues. In other words, real money. We're talking about not like we're talking about the company's doing real business. It's everything is okay. Scott, what happens when we're all? I don't know. I don't know, Scott. I don't know what to tell you. Try to make as much money as you can and buy hard assets. I don't know. That's the answer. We're all in the same boat. We're all going to be in the same boat, Scott. Okay, that's right. Monday. All right, guys.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry, Jack. I text you on the channel and I tell you can you come the link and live a minute?
Yes.
But I talk over here. That's fine. That's okay.
You got it. Okay, guys. Thank you, everybody. Nas, thank you. Tome,
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Tome and Nes. Okay, I think we got everybody. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Here's to your 100x. And anybody who wants to join, the links are in the bio below, in the video description below.